Senator Jeff Sessions had his first confirmation hearing the other day, and there were a lot of interesting moments. So, for example, he was constantly bombarded by protesters.
People have fairly promptly tried to label you as a racist or a bigot or whatever you want to say. How does that make you feel? And this is your chance to say something to those people.
Well, it does not feel good.
Now that was awesome, and I commend all of those people for being courageous enough to do that. Now, besides Jeff Sessions having overtly racist and homophobic views, he poses not just a threat to civil rights as Attorney General, but also a threat to civil liberties. Previously, he stated that we need to let people know that this drug is dangerous and you cannot play with it. It is not funny, it's not something to laugh about, and to send that message with clarity that good people don't smoke marijuana. So, with him believing that good people don't smoke marijuana, well, as Attorney General, he would have the power to enforce federal laws against the states who legalize marijuana to use recreationally or for medical purposes. So, as Attorney General, what would he do? Would he actually wage war on marijuana like we think he would? Well, according to Attention, Donald Trump's nominee for Attorney General wouldn't rule out a federal crackdown on marijuana during his confirmation hearing Tuesday, telling lawmakers they should change the laws prohibiting the use of cannabis if they don't want him to enforce them. The senator, who has previously criticized the federal government for declining to enforce prohibition in states that have legalized for medical or recreational purposes, said that he won't commit to not enforcing federal laws. Over 24 states allow the use of marijuana for medical purposes, and recreational use is legal in California, Washington, Oregon, Colorado, and the District of Columbia. Sessions was asked if he'd uphold those same guidelines set by attorneys general under the Obama administration. I think some of them are truly valuable in evaluating cases, but fundamentally, the criticism that I think as legitimate was that they may not have been followed, he replied. Using good judgment will be a responsibility of mine. It's a good sign that Senator Sessions seemed open to keeping the Obama guidelines, if maybe with a little stricter enforcement of their restrictions. Tom Angeli, founder of Marijuana Majority, told Attention, "Still, the truth is his answer was skillfully evasive, and I hope other senators continue to press for more clarity on how he would approach the growing numbers of states enacting new marijuana laws." So even though it's being framed as an open question as to what he would do as Attorney General, I think the biggest takeaway is this quote. Sessions went on to say that if Congress didn't want him to enforce federal marijuana laws, that they should change those laws. Now, out of all those things, I think that's the most telling. And it really implies that, yes, as Attorney General, I will enforce these arbitrary federal laws. Now, there's a lot of things that politicians do that piss off the American people, and things that they do that should piss off the American people that don't piss them off. But if there's any two policies that I think you can do to really strike a chord with the American people and get them to rise up and try to fight you, is one, if you try to mess with the internet, and two, if you try to take away their marijuana. Now, this isn't just for recreational uses, even though we are adults and we should have the right to smoke marijuana if we want to, because it's a free country and we pay our taxes. But also, this is immoral. This is unethical. This goes further than civil liberties, because medical marijuana has a plethora of medical benefits. Now, even though Republicans like to lie and obfuscate the truth about medicinal marijuana, the fact is that it saves lives. For example, marijuana limits or prevents children with epilepsy from having severe seizures. It also improves the appetite of cancer patients undergoing chemotherapy and alleviates their nausea. There's even some evidence that it can be used to kill cancer cells, but this is admittedly inconclusive. Now, it can also make autoimmune diseases like lupus more manageable, and it significantly reduces their pain. I've seen this firsthand with my sister, who suffered with lupus for many years, and then she began getting medical marijuana, And it's like she had her life back. She was a new person again. And additionally, this impacts people in a positive way who have mental health issues like depression, like obsessive compulsive disorder, like panic disorder, like anxiety. So to take that away from them and say that states don't even get to decide there, it's complete and utterly arbitrary, and it's unacceptable in a free country. So it's very clear that as Attorney General, Jeff Sessions will be waging war on marijuana. He wants to take away your marijuana. Whatever happened to small government? Republicans like to claim that they're for small government and states' rights, but, when it comes to things that they don't like, they're not so in favor of states' rights. So if you don't like this, if you disagree with Jeff Sessions waging a war on medical and recreational marijuana, tell him. You can call him at 202-224-4124. His office number again, 202-224-4124. And of course, I wouldn't ask you guys to do something that I wouldn't be willing to do myself. So I'm going to call him and leave him a message and let him know that he will not be waging war on marijuana as Attorney General unless he wants to see extreme grassroots resistance.
Hello, you've reached the office of Senator Jeff Sessions of Alabama. I'm sorry that no one's available to take your call right now, but please leave your name, telephone number, and any message you might have for the senator.
I'm not going to leave my number.
We'll call you back as soon as possible. Thank you.
Hello, this message is for Senator Jeff Sessions. My name is Mike Figueredo, and I am a tax-paying citizen. And as Attorney General, I just want Jeff Sessions to know that he will not be waging a war on medicinal and recreational marijuana unless he wants to see extreme grassroots resistance, because the American people, we're adults. We are allowed to make our own decisions. And Jeff Sessions, as a conservative, I would expect him to be in favor of small government like much of his Republican colleagues. So I want him to be consistent and actually be in favor of states' rights and small government and allow people to do what they are entitled to do under state laws. Tell him not to get involved with it and to let him know that we will be protesting every single day if he decides to arbitrarily enforce laws that shouldn't exist to begin with. So he needs to continue with the tradition of Obama's attorney generals and actually do what's right and allow people to take medical marijuana to help save their lives and make lives more manageable, to help them cure their seizures, to help them fight depression. And also, please tell him that as grown adults, we're allowed to drink alcohol. We should also be allowed to use recreational marijuana. And we're going to do that regardless if he enforces the law or not. So it's a matter of whether or not he is going to face grassroots resistance, really. So just let him know that if he's going to take on marijuana, he's going to lose because the American people are not in favor of that policy. And we will try to stop him at every step of the way. There you have it. So call Jeff Sessions and let him know. We don't have to sit back and get screwed over and take it lightly. If Democrats aren't going to fight, then it's up to us. We can fight ourselves. So, yeah. Try it. I dare you, Jeff Sessions. Try it. Not going to go well for you.
Support this podcast by joining the independent progressive media revolution today at humanistreport.com.